This animal is part of the raccoon family. Is this for real? This is not for real. Although the giant panda was once classified as a member of the raccoon family, it is now usually considered a bear. In Greek mythology, this animal was the sacred bird of Zeus's wife. What was her name? The peacock was Hera's sacred bird. Right or wrong? How did you do? Where are this rodent's sweat glands located? In its eye ducts, under its chin, on its tail, on its feet. When a squirrel is hot or excited, it will leave wet tracks behind from its sweaty feet. Which is not one of this animal's primary enemies? Badger, coyote, owl, snake. Snakes are not a common enemy of skunks. This animal's skeleton is made of a tough substance that's more flexible than bone. What is this material called? It's called cartilage, and it also forms parts of people's noses and ears. Honest now, did you get it right or wrong? This animal commonly attacks humans with its sharp barbs. Is this for real? This is not for real. Typically, a stingray would choose to flee. It defends itself only when persistently harassed or startled. This animal's carnivorous. Is this for real? This is for real. Many starfish prey on mollusks, like clams and oysters. To eat, the starfish pushes its stomach through its own mouth and inserts its stomach inside the shell of its prey. This animal kills its prey with its powerful feet and talons. Is this for real? This is for real. A great horned owl is a very efficient predator and will sometimes take relatively large prey like swans, turkeys, and even skunks. While they live much longer in captivity, the great horned owl's lifespan in the wild is considerably less, topping out at about 13 years. This bird swallows even the indigestible parts of its prey and later coughs them up in a different form. This form is known as a chunk, bit, pellet, pod. Owl pellets contain the indigestible parts of its prey, like bones, fur, and feathers. Rather than building its own, this creature often makes use of the abandoned nests of other birds. Is this for real? This is for real. In a pinch, the great horned owl will also nest in rock alcoves, tree hollows, or even on the ground. In 1983, about how many members of this animal species remained in the wild? 6, 30, 6,500, too many to count. At the time, less than 30 California condors remained in the wild. Their numbers were decimated because of poaching, lead poisoning, and habitat destruction. There are now many more California condors in the wild because of aggressive conservation efforts. What did 15th century European sailors reportedly mistake this large animal for? Some sailors of old thought that manatees were mermaids. Those voyages must have been really long. Did you get it or not? The female of this large animal species lays over 2,000 eggs each year. Is this for real? This is not for real. Manatee moms give birth to one calf after a pregnancy of about a year. Part of this bird's name is a U.S. state. What is the bird called? The critically endangered California condor has been saved from extinction by the reintroduction and management of captive bred birds. Honest now, did you get it right or wrong? These predators prefer to eat their prey while in the air. Is this for real? This is not for real. Sea eagles prefer to dine in their nests or while sitting on a tree branch. What is this creature's skeleton made of? All shark skeletons are made mostly of cartilage. Honest now, did you get it right or wrong? If this animal bites a human, what is it most likely to do next? Release them, hold on until the victim dies, drag them to deep water, continue biting. According to the stats, the great white shark is most likely to release a human if it bites one. The great white's menu does include a lot of other large mammals, like dolphins, seals, and walruses. One of this creature's predators is called a roadrunner. Is this for real? This is for real. Beep beep. Other dangers for the horned lizard includes coyotes, foxes, and humans. Of course, its blood squirting technique does provide some level of defense. Many horned lizards live in hot, arid deserts, but some prefer mountainous areas. This bird can make the sound of a chainsaw. Is this for real? This is for real. Lyrebirds are magnificent mimickers and can impersonate other birds and animals, as well as many other noises. Usually just called a mountain goat, another name for this animal is Rocky Mountain goat, Adirondack mountain goat, Andes mountain goat, Appalachian mountain goat. Mountain goats are also called Rocky Mountain goats, and they're found in the mountains from the northwestern United States to Alaska. When these animals stand erect on their hind legs, what do they use to keep their balance? Meerkats use their tails for balance. Remember, we're on the honor system here, right or wrong. These birds roost and feed in the same area of the forest, often staying in the same tree. Is this for real? This is not for real. Macaws travel daily from their roosting site to feeding grounds at dawn, and then back home again at dusk. Macaws fly in pairs or small groups, communicating with their signature raucous squawks. Which is not a real bird? Darwin's macaw, hyacinth macaw, red and green macaw, Buffon's macaw. Darwin's macaw is not a real bird. This animal always hunts alone. Is this for real? This is not for real. Ocelots occasionally hunt in teams, even though they are generally solitary animals. One species of this animal has a wingspan of nearly 6 feet. Is this for real? This is for real. The Malayan flying fox has a wingspan of about 5.5 feet. Not surprisingly, the Malayan flying fox is the largest bat in the world. This animal is a top predator in the wild. Is this for real? This is for real. The only major thing that mountain lions have to fear is humans. And if a human being is smart, it'll fear mountain lions as well. Cats like this are sometimes seen in the California suburbs. Is this for real? This is for real. Although most mountain lions naturally avoid people, in recent years there have been many suburban sightings. Because more and more people are moving into mountain lion country, encounters are becoming more common. Male ring-tailed lemurs wave their stinky tails at each other after rubbing them on their scent glands. What is this behavior often called? Smelly wars, stink fights, stink bombs, rotten waving. During the mating season, ring-tailed lemurs become more aggressive and engage in stink fights. These animals have bright red, fleshy bumps that droop from the front and sides of the neck. What are they called? Snoods, dewlaps, beards, caruncles. The bumps are called caruncles, and they're believed to help the wild turkey attract mates. Some sea creatures have been known to build colonies on top of these skilled disguise artists. Is this for real? This is for real. The stonefish blends into the background so well that it appears to be part of the reef. Because of its venomous spines, this master of disguise has no natural predators. Is this for real? This is not for real. The stonefish's main predators include sharks and rays. This animal inhabits the empty shells of what creatures? Cephalopods? Arthropods? Reptilians? Gastropods? Hermit crabs use the empty shells of gastropods, like abalones and sea snails. This creature is most vulnerable during growth spurts. This is called jolting, molting, halting, boosting. It's called molting when hermit crabs shed their exoskeletons as they grow. Until the new exoskeleton hardens, the creature is very vulnerable. This bird eats penguins. Is this for real? This is for real. One of the Johnny Rook's favorite meals is a dead penguin. The Johnny Rook is also called a striated caracara. This is a striated caracara. What's its more common name? Johnny Rook, fishhawk, bald eagle, turkey vulture. It's called the Johnny Rook. This bird is found primarily on a group of islands off Argentina. Name the islands. Striated caracaras, or Johnny Rooks, can be found on the Falkland Islands. Did you get it right or wrong? Female Indian walking sticks mate with different males each season. Is this for real? This is not for real. Using a form of reproduction called parthenogenesis, most species of female stick insects can have babies on their own without mating at all. Seahorse dads, not moms, undergo pregnancy. Is this for real? This is for real. The female deposits her eggs in the male's pouch, and the baby seahorses are born 2 to 6 weeks later. Seahorses are insects, amphibians, fish, mammals. Seahorses are fish. This creature was the subject of the world's first wildlife film. Is this for real? This is for real. What some consider the first wildlife film was made in Italy in the 1890s, and its subject was the seahorse. Besides an extra toe, what does a three-toed sloth have that its two-toed cousin does not? A tail, an extra ear, fur, white paws. The three-toed sloth has a tail, while the two-toed sloth doesn't. How many eyes does this spider have? tarantula has 8 eyes. Can you imagine if it wore glasses? How did you do? This cat has long tufts of hair on its ears that help it to detect and hunt its prey. Is this for real? This is for real. The lynx's ear tufts help it to detect faint sounds. The Canadian lynx depends on which animal as the main staple of its diet? A possum, snowshoe rabbit, ermine, muskrat. Because they feed almost solely on them, the population of the Canadian lynx often fluctuates with the population of snowshoe rabbits. These animals are most closely related to hippos, pigs, rhinos, elephants. Tapirs are most closely related to rhinos. Which of these is a nickname for these creatures? Goofy noses, living fossils, giant pigs, shiny barrels. Tapirs are called living fossils because they haven't changed much in millions of years. The name for these animals comes from an Old Norse word meaning what? Near whale, frozen whale, secret whale, corpse whale. In Old Norse, the word narwhal means corpse whale. These animals run about as fast as track and field runners, zebras, pronghorn antelopes, squirrels. Coyotes and zebras both run about 40 miles per hour, although the coyote might be slightly faster. What U.S. state is the only one where these animals aren't naturally found? You won't find any coyotes in the wild in Hawaii unless they've taken some major swimming lessons. Right or wrong? What was it? When coyotes breed with feral dogs, what are the offspring called? Caninotes, mongroats, coy dogs, coy girls. When coyotes breed with feral dogs, they produce coy dogs. A group of these animals on land is called a colony. What's the name for a group in the water? Sub, port, tread, raft. A group of sea lions in the water is called a raft. During breeding season, males of this species gather as many females together as they can. What is the group called? Harem, household, gaggle, cortege. The strongest male sea lions gather several females together in their harems and ensure that their genes get passed down to the next generation.